Hi, all. A very warm welcome to yet another episode on our YouTube LinkedIn Live. I'm Priyanka Changya, co founder HEN. HEN stands for Her Entrepreneurial Network. It's your go to community for women entrepreneurs to come together to inspire, inform, and support each other in scaling up and growing their businesses along with leading balanced lives. Today's session is very interesting. It is a space where, today every conversation with every other parent that I talk to, it is revolving around, I don't understand my teenager anymore. It could be maybe they are talking less, maybe they are spending more time behind screens, maybe you observe that slight change in the way they behave or the kind of person they are becoming, or mm, maybe just every conversation is somehow turning into an argument. Whatever be the situation, the real question isn't how the teenagers are changing and evolving. What we need to ask is, have we changed along with them? And to help us unpack this, I'm delighted to be joined by psychologist, parenting alignment coach, and founder of Dynamic Owl, Sreelatha Manda. Welcome, Sreelatha. We are so happy to have you here with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Priyanka. It's a pleasure to be here. And parenting teenagers sometimes feels challenging, confusing, and even overwhelming. But trust me, it is equally most rewarding phase of the parenting as well. So I'm
Yes.
excited actually.
Wonderful. So, Shri, let's begin with your journey first. So, how did you get into the this space and this industry?
Okay. So, to begin with, I started with my own challenge. I was born with cleft lip and cleft palate, and it came with its own challenges.
Hmm.
And I had, because the this particular birth defect comes with a speech challenges. So,
Okay.
and of course, you know how parents are always they come forward to take all the measures to make sure their child has a quality life. So it was the
Hmm.
same in my case. My parents took care of me, whatever it requires to uh, for me to have a quality life. So,
Hmm.
but then it did not solve my problem entirely. Growing up,
Hmm.
I had these speech challenges in spite of my
Hmm.
surgeries. At
Hmm.
home, I never had any challenge, and even with the extended family, I never had any challenge. But then the challenge was when I was in the new environment or in the school setup. Whenever I was speaking, because I had speech challenge, even
Hmm.
a basic one, when they would ask me, what's your name? For me to tell my name and to make
Hmm.
them understand my name was a big
Hmm.
challenge. And that's how uh,
Hmm.
I grew up with those challenges and school setup. And then when I started going into college, and that
Hmm.
challenge became even bigger.
Hmm.
And I never understood how to communicate to my parents that, first
Hmm.
of all, I never understood I had this challenge to even communicate to my parents. And I
Hmm.
wonder if they had known, how they would have helped me in that
Hmm.
scenario. But now, as a parent of teen, I understand my parents did their best. They couldn't have done anything better than that with their
Hmm.
best ability and knowledge.
Hmm.
So it was basically, we both didn't know how to communicate. We both didn't have that space. My parents
Hmm.
didn't have a window of my world growing up here. So that's how my journey started. And I thought, and I truly connect to this, that all parents need to understand their teenagers, and teenagers need that space, and they need that space to evolve on their own and
Hmm.
navigate those challenges. And parents' job is to create that space for them.
Wonderful. So, Shri, very well said when you said they didn't have window into my world, and that is so true even today. So, let's start with the big one. Parents today often feel like raising teenagers is harder than ever. We were teenagers ourselves, one, and to look back, it doesn't feel that far behind, right? It feels just like yesterday, also, but still, what is actually very different about being a teenager today compared to when we were growing up. So you are interacting with so many young kids, and what is your analysis of how the world has changed around us?
So that's a very interesting question, and because I hear both sides of the stories from the parent and the teen, so I understand what is exactly happening in the current days. See, even in our growing up years, we heard our parents saying that in my days when I was young, I was doing that. So even now we hear the same story. It never happened with me. Parents say that, it never happened with me. When I was growing, it was never a challenge. I never challenged my uh,
Hmm.
parents. But you go and ask their parents, or come to my parents and ask my parents, they'll tell their challenges, what they faced with me. So
Hmm.
similarly, the scenarios are changing. Um, uh,
Hmm.
and more so, parenting teenagers feels like walking on eggshells these days,
Hmm.
And most often, what I hear parents telling is, I don't know what to say anymore, and I don't want to start another argument with them, and
Hmm.
I don't know how to communicate with my child anymore. Do I even understand them? Am I part of their world? Do I even know, or am I the first one that they would come to me if they are in trouble? These are all the concerns that parents have. See,
Yeah.
the days are changing. There's so much of exposure for both of them. Parents are
Hmm.
exposed to so many things and they're so worried, and they want to come across as a concerned parents, come across
Hmm.
as I'm worried for you, for your future. But how does
Hmm.
it land for the teenagers? That
Hmm.
my parents don't trust me, and
Hmm.
I don't know how to make them understand what I'm going through. Like I said, the window for my world, and
Hmm.
even let's say if teenager reaches out to their parent, what happens immediately in a classic scenario? What happens immediately? Parents start advising. They're not
Yeah.
actually listening to what is the teenagers sharing. They're
Hmm.
jumping to advice. They're
Hmm.
jumping. There's nothing wrong actually. Why are the parents doing? Because it is
Hmm.
out of their concern. They're trying to protect them. So basically, it's just that a situation, a scenario, is seen
Hmm.
from a different perspective. That's it.
Hmm.
A parent who is concerned and a
Hmm.
teenager who is looking for independence. That's all it is.
Okay. So one sentence we hear all the time is, and I think a lot of parents will resonate. So up until when they are 7, 8, 9 year old, they are always turning to you, right? You are their go-to person, right? And suddenly, as they enter their tweens and their teens, you see the shift, right? You see, say conversations reduced to one-word answers, or them craving their space more, right? Or so as a parent, how do you really understand this phase, and is it normal, like, or how should parents interpret this shift, like, how much space should be given, what is normal, how much effort to put in to have a conversation, where do you draw the line? So these are some of the questions that comes to my mind as a parent also.
Absolutely. So I hope I will answer this question that most parents understand. See, there are different stages, okay?
Hmm.
Like adult stages, same thing with the child also. So a parent all the time until up till preteens and tweens and teenage, before they come to that stage, they are both of them are having that rapport bonding. They are doing so many activities together, and there is so much of uh, fun times happening. And even parents, even when the child grows up 40 years also, the parent keeps saying, that time, growing up years, this is what happened, how much fun I had. So they need to evolve. Please understand, parents need to understand a child comes to a point where they need to grow mentally mature for the bigger world. That is where the change, both the parties. See, a teenager understands from the space of I need to have my own independence, my space, which a parent sees as uh, a disconnection. Relationship is breaking up. Connection is not happening anymore. But
Hmm.
if I would like to ask a parent, do you want your teenager to be dependent on you forever? Will that
Def-
help them to grow up in their in the bigger world? See, now more so these days, they should be more ready to the
Hmm.
world, which is more challenging, right? And if they are the anchor to pull them down, then how are they going to grow for the bigger
Hmm.
challenges? So
Yeah.
what I always tell, and I did with my teen as well, help them to take up challenges in a comfortable setup, comfortable environment. What do I mean by that?
Hmm.
Throw them into a challenge in a school environment. School environment, we know it is a comfortable environment. When they do
Hmm.
any mistake, they
Hmm.
can gather themselves back and
Hmm.
set themselves back on track. It is
Yep.
less affecting their independence.
Hmm.
You're actually helping them to transition to become more and more independent. So please
Hmm.
understand, it is not about the relationship between the parent and teen. Yes, it is a transition for the parent also.
Hmm.
So both the parties are going through that transition, and it is very important. They will navigate, actually, they will navigate definitely. But one thing, don't get influenced by the media that we see. Yes, as parent, we need to be vigilant as in what is happening in our
Hmm.
teen's life. At the same time,
Hmm.
make sure you're not stepping into their zone.
Hmm.
And one or two times when you step, okay, this is not the space. I'm
Hmm.
not allowed to. So you will also learn as a parent, okay, where is a boundary,
Hmm.
and you will understand where to hold, where to let free, and that will happen in the beginning. It feels like, but what is very important, don't, as a parent, don't go into your own shell, into your own emotions. Become more aware of what is the need of the hour, and then that will actually enable a better understanding where to get into their space and where to step back. And when you
Wonderful.
step back, doesn't mean you're losing control. When you're
Hmm.
stepping back, you're actually giving them to navigate uh, in the safe environment, safe zone. That's very important.
Wonderful. That's really insightful. Thank you, Shri. So let's talk about the mistakes we don't even realize we are making because, like you mentioned, giving control or losing control. What are some of the intentioned things parents do that you may have seen that accidentally pushes them further away instead of bringing them closer to you? So,
Yeah.
what are some of the things we as parents tend to unintentionally do to damage our relationships?
Yeah. So I would like to use a word called trade-off. Okay, so you need to understand, uh, like earlier, where do
Hmm.
you want to step in, and where do you want to step out? That is first thing, and that will happen when a parent is emotionally balanced.
Hmm.
See, parents are not superhuman beings, and that
Hmm.
even teenagers understand. They don't want super
Hmm.
parents. They want parents who understand them. That is the
Hmm.
first thing. And now, to answer to your question, um, let's say a parent is going through some challenge at work or some situation at home. Now they
Hmm.
walk past through their teenager's room and they see that teenager's room is very clumsy. What
Yeah.
happens? It triggers. And when it triggers, what happens? They step in and they happen to say certain things that doesn't sit well. And eventually what happens? The argument starts.
Hmm.
So allow, understand where you want to, you know, these are the small things you need to understand. Is that important that
Hmm.
you are you doing out of your own emotional trigger or is it required for that moment? That is the important or very um, I think understanding will happen there, I guess. So the most common mistakes is always trying to control them and giving instructions.
Hmm.
Uh, and yeah, true, parents are worried, but how do you show that worry? Are you showing it as a language which doesn't sit well? Or are you constantly advising them?
Hmm.
Then you are actually losing the connection. If connection is what you're looking at, then you're actually slowly
So,
making that.
So excellent point. But a lot of parents think that connection means sitting down in a serious talk, right?
Ah,
And
yeah,
sometimes it is needed also because,
yes,
sometimes it is a loop. You are going on repeating same things, and the message is still not getting conveyed. So one fine day, it's like, okay, let's sit down, let's have the serious conversation. But somehow, that also sometimes doesn't work, right? So
yeah,
what are some of the simple everyday habits that can actually help build trust, keep communication open, yet convert into the results that you are looking for? You know.
yeah, yeah. So simple thing. I would like to. I'm sure you're also a parent. If I ask you a question,
Hmm.
like when you were doing something exciting and your parent comes and gives you a lecture, this is not how it is done, and would you without any basis they come and give you a correction? How would that land?
Closed.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So what happens is over a period of time they have built filters. Okay,
Hmm.
when it's like a nagging filters they have filled in their head, filled in their system.
Hmm.
So now to answer to your question, how can parents actually establish that connection?
Hmm.
Never build that whole problem and one day you say, come on, let's sit, I need to discuss. That's not
Hmm.
how it happens. Every day teens will not be interested, but every day while you walk past their room or while you're going on a drive to drop them at a certain class or having a meal, especially when you go out for restaurants,
Hmm.
that's a very good time. Not on a daily basis, but then when you go out to a restaurant to have a meal together, that's the time that teenagers are very happy. That's the time when you establish that connection, that trust. After you do that over a period of time, then when you say, when
Hmm.
there is a real challenge that you think that
Hmm.
the change needs to happen,
Hmm.
then when you sit, they are more aware that yes, this means something needs to be addressed, a serious
Hmm.
matter, rather than one day suddenly, no, let's sit and talk. I need to tell you something. That's when they are actually, you lose them. You need to build that trust that,
Hmm.
yeah, this is a space we can connect. That connection aspect needs to build slowly, and that needs to
Hmm.
happen, let's say 10 minutes a day, or even a one sentence also is okay. It doesn't have to be 10 minutes because they don't have
Hmm.
that, my teens don't have that kind of patience also to sit and listen to. So a simple dialogue, a simple statement like, I loved what you have said in the morning, or something like, uh, I see you're doing something very serious. Was it important? I just
Hmm.
got curious. I'm sure it
Hmm.
would be important. Something like that to establish a small connection rather
Hmm.
than one fine day you come and said, let's talk.
Okay, so excellent point. I think small steps go a long way, is what I'm taking away. So, if a parent is listening today and they could change just one thing starting tomorrow morning that would improve their relationship with their team, what would you recommend?
So I would say, first thing, you're doing your best. I would
Hmm.
like to tell that each parenting parent is doing their best, and
Hmm.
there is no perfect formula. It is
Hmm.
everybody is going through, and each of them have to navigate based on their environment and setup what suits. However, having said that, alignment is very important. Instead of
Hmm.
working against, like, both as a teen and a parent, they coming in opposite direction and making it even more unpleasant versus you actually align with their mood and with their independence. When they say they need space, give them that space. They are
Hmm.
not going anywhere, and it's nothing that you need to be worried.
Hmm.
And secondly, please understand, you need to be in a space before you jump to give them any advices. You also need to be so calm and peaceful that the yeah if your intention is to have a better connection with your team, then you also need to work. You need to understand from what space you're coming from. If it triggers, it's okay.
Hmm.
uh, Next day you can always tell them it triggered, and I understand, I stepped into your space, I didn't mean to do it. That will actually, when you
Hmm.
say that, it will lower all the barriers and you have built the trust. So
Hmm.
that's what I would actually, one takeaway if any parent are looking for from this session.
That's so wonderful. Thank you so much, Sri, for sharing that. I have prepared a quick rapid fire for you. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, one word that every teenager wants to hear from their parents.
Trust me. Like I told entire thing, trust me, I am safe, trust me.
Okay. Control or connection?
Connection.
Okay. The biggest myth parents believe about teenagers.
Okay, so it's like two sides of the coin. My teens don't know anything. That's one side of the coin. Or my teen knows so much that I don't know what they know. So that's the myth that, it's
Okay.
not true. It's not that they don't know everything. It's not that they don't know anything. It's a fine line actually.
One thing parents should stop immediately.
Um, Immediately is I know better than you, or I know
Yeah.
what you need.
Huh.
So give their independence. They will navigate. So
And one
yeah,
thing every teenager secretly needs more of.
independence and a safe space. Yes, you said one word, but I would make two words. That independence and safe space. When they feel safe, they will come back. They will come back. Trust me. And I've seen this over and over in my own life and in my coaching sessions. A
Hmm.
safe space. They always look for safe space where
Hmm.
they can be themselves. Yeah.
All right. Wonderful, Shri. Thank you so much. This has been such an insightful conversation. As a parent, I am feeling calmer and in more control. I have like action items ready now. But before we wrap up, I just want to thank you for coming today and sharing your wisdom and expertise with all of us. And to all our viewers, if today's conversation resonated with you, share it with another parent who might need to hear this. Because parenting isn't about winning every argument, it's just about staying in the lane, being focused and navigating through this journey where, we see our child in a different form with every passing year, right? It's about keeping the relationship strong enough that your child keeps coming back to you, even though it may look very difficult today. But trust me, these little steps can go a long way. And I'll be back again soon with another Hen Live. It's Hen is a beautiful community that we are all building together. So if you are a woman entrepreneur, we would love to see you here. And do share in the comments what is the one thing your teenager does that completely confuses you, and we will get Shri to answer that for all of you. And Shri, thank you so much.
Thank
It
you.
was a
Thank you
real
so
pleasure
much.
talking to you today.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was pleasure to address this topic. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Bye, guys.